Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast, where you can escape the corporate trap through franchise ownership. Here's your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, the Franchise Guide.
So number one, what if I pick the wrong franchise? Now, I think this is more for someone that's doing the research on their own. We're not guessing here. We're putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort. And I think the secret here is really working in reverse, figuring out what the ideal franchise looks like, as opposed to just going to a list of top 100 franchises, top 500 franchises. And I'm not saying anything wrong with those lists, but there's not much substance. What's the criteria? How are they added to the list? What if I pick the wrong franchise? We're figuring out what the ideal franchise looks like. You've got to keep your job and run it part-time. You want a franchise that allows for semi-absentee or part-time ownership. That franchisor will let you know, especially on that first call, if they allow that type of ownership. It's going to talk about the investment, right? The investment has to be aligned. Territory, the location has to be available. Employees. If you don't like a lot of employees, you're going to put that in your franchise model, what the ideal business looks like, and look for brands that fit that model. And you're having multiple calls with the franchise, multiple calls with the franchisees, as well as meeting with the C-suite founders, president, as well as other potential franchise owners. So we're not guessing here. We're making an informed decision. That should not be a concern as long as you're spending enough time on the due diligence up front. Number two, interesting one. Will I actually make money? And at the end of the day, what is a franchise? A franchise is a business. We call it a business on training wheels. There's no guarantee in anything. There's no guarantee in the stock market. There's no guarantee in a business, a mom and pop startup or a franchise. The franchise has a proven model, proven system. They're giving you the tools, the keys to everything, but you need to follow that system. Sometimes you will follow that system and struggle a little bit, and being disciplined enough to go back and work with the franchisor, contact the coach. Can you make money with the franchise? Absolutely. Can you lose money? Absolutely. It is a business. It is a risk. But if you follow the system, you want to put as much, find the right franchise, right system, check out the financials, right? You're going to create a pro forma, look at item 7 and 19 in the franchise disclosure document. Ultimately, no one's going to be able to give you that info. You can talk to fellow franchisees and check on their progress, how they've done in the past, and really putting all that information together in order to move forward with your franchise. Number three, what if I lose my investment? Well, we want to avoid losing an investment. And usually with losing an investment, that means going out of business. And that goes back to, the other concern of, will I actually make money, or even what if I pick the wrong franchise? Again, risk in a franchise and in any business. But with that being said, if you are assuming that, you spent the time on the due diligence and the fits there, it's a lot of work the first year. So it's setting the expectation that you may not make any money, or even if you've made any money, I usually recommend, if you can afford it, reinvesting as much as you can, putting all the profits back in the business the first year so that you can truly build it up, make sure you have sufficient staff, marketing, and anything else needed for the business, so that maybe starting in year 2, you can work more on the business versus in the business. So, there is, depending how you fund it, that's money that you have to invest in the business. We don't want you to lose that franchise fee. Franchisor doesn't want you to go out of business either. So ask for help, talk to your fellow franchisees, follow the system, just, consistently follow. And if you're struggling with a key area, follow up. If it's not a neighboring franchisee, the franchisor can work with you and speaking with other fellow franchisees across the country.
Financial fears are significant, but what about the time commitment? Many worry about working 80+ hours a week. Is that the reality of franchise ownership? And how can you build a business that doesn't consume your entire life?
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to learn how to make the transition from corporate to owning your franchise, join Giuseppe on the next episode. You can also follow on all social media platforms and achieve financial and time freedom today.